All right, welcome everybody. Hops and Horses, episode number 7. Jeff Bessa here with my partner in crime, Jake
Yeah.
Phillips. And Jake, now what have you been doing tonight?
I'm a jumbo margarita in.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe two. I can't really remember. They were about the size of my head.
All right.
Yeah, no, I've been doing a little bit of sipping and a little bit of handicapping and trying to figure Saratoga out every year. Every year it's tough.
I've had a good meet. I've had a really
Yeah.
good meet, profitable, very profitable meet, which I'm always afraid of it, but doing well.
When
Today
the
was the
mon
best.
when the monsoon hits at noon, man, that makes it tough,
It
But
does.
then it's just it's crazy. I mean, you play these tournaments online or whatever, and you see people on Twitter, man, they still crush it. They still do well. I mean, people still
Sure.
seem to really know the track and love the track, and I've
Yeah.
had fun with it. This is probably the most attention I think that I've ever paid to it.
Okay.
I'm like a spring fall
Okay.
handicapper and player. I play the Triple Crown, and then when the Breeders' Cup starts heating up, I get into that. Sometimes I get lazy in the summer, and I'll watch like the big races. This is definitely the most like that I've watched of
Okay.
Saratoga and Del Mar.
I
So
love
fun.
Saratoga Del Mar. So
Yeah.
I'm going back to Saratoga. Travers week. I'm going to be there all week. And Del Mar, of course, was my home track when I was in the Navy. And
You can be a few places that week.
yeah, I'll give more details on that later, but I will be at the Travers. Can't wait. So last week we handicapped a few races. I thought we'd recap the CCA Oaks a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the winner, Maracuja.
Maracuja, baby. Yeah.
So that was the big glory pick.
Yeah. I mean, great race. I mean, you with 4 horses, you can't ask for. I mean, you can't ask for a better finish than that. I mean, Ricardo, pressed the pace early, and then when he saw that, that Irad wanted to come up and engage with that 4 horse, and he took back.
Right.
And I mean, man, to take I've always thought that that's some supreme talent, to take a young horse like that back down the backside, down the back stretch, take her back and let that other horse engage. And then, man, I mean, he let her get back into the bit coming around the turn, and she was ready to roll. I mean, a great race,
It
really
was.
great race.
I thought Malathat was going to win that, but I didn't know that Clairiere was going to run a race like that and really set it up for Maracuja. And my sheet did have Maracuja as the clear plus horse.
Yeah, she was
Clear
definitely the
up.
value.
Yeah,
I
definitely
mean,
value.
those, and that's, I mean, when I looked at the past performances, I mean, when you have these like 3-year-old fillies that are all, they're constantly on the improve, and they're improving at, different rates. And, it's like a wave. I mean, they're, every time they run, you're going to get, those bigger swings and speed value, in speed figure and in performance and the drive that they have. And so when I looked at those past performances, I thought, man, this horse, it wasn't necessarily that I wanted to pick the horse to win. It's that I couldn't really make a case for that horse being that much worse of a horse than the others.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
and you were getting the odds, and that's what you were just playing the odds.
Yeah, it was the best bet.
Yeah,
And in the
definitely.
long run, you're going to be profitable betting horses like that. So nice pick. I wish
Mhm.
my sheet had it, even though I didn't bet it. All right, moving on to the hops portion of Hops and Horses.
I've already shown my beverage a time
You
or
got the
two because
whiskey.
I can't stay away from it.
So what I got here today is a full-grown pastry chef. That's what it's called.
Mm.
Full-grown pastry chef, Imperial Stout. Notice he's
Look
got
at the
like
beard on that guy.
he's got little marshmallows in his beard.
Wow.
Okay, this is called chocolate and marshmallow. Okay.
And it tastes like that?
Oh,
Or
Yeah, I'm gonna taste it in a second. It's 12% alcohol and it goes down just beautiful.
Man, like an alcoholic hot chocolate.
Unbelievable.
Mm,
Tastes delicious. I mean, it's like dessert.
yeah,
Highly recommend the pastry chef stouts if you can get a hold of one. This one's 5 minutes from my house.
man.
All right, so we're going to talk today about Saratoga Pick 5 on Saturday. And did I already plug DJ Nation?
I don't think so. I don't think we've talked
You
about
know,
those guys.
we're
They don't need much plugging
they don't need much
because they're
plugging.
all wicked famous.
Yeah, they're
But
doing good, and I'm on board with what they're about, and hoping
oh
they
yeah,
do big. And so, you know, I'm welcoming everybody that's watching, either from Charting Horse Value, from DJ Nation, or wherever. But let's hit it big. All right,
man,
I'm gonna go.
those guys, man, they play a lot. You know, they party hard and they give hard. I mean, every time I feel like every time I see those guys on Twitter, you know, they're hitting a bet and they're giving money to, you know, they're giving money to Thoroughbred Aftercare, or they're giving money to, you know, to Jockeys Guild or somebody. I mean, you
Yeah,
know, those guys do some great work, and they got a lot of people behind, you know, they got a lot of fans, and you know, that's what we need. I mean, that's what we need, you know, in this game.
no, they're making it fun.
Oh
And
yeah.
I heard, you know, they had a big contest yesterday. It was a head-to-head win place handicapping
Mm-hmm.
contest. Dylan, the CEO, Shoe, and then Swift Hitter.
Yeah.
And
Somebody's
Dylan
in a bunny
won.
suit.
Yeah, Dylan won, and now I think they're going to both have to be in a bunny suit. So I
Yeah.
think it's a Playboy bunny suit. I'm hoping,
Mm.
you know. But yeah, so that's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
Let's watch that Whitney Day. But all right, race 7. We're going to talk about these 3 stakes races, and then they're sandwiched in between these 2 very wide open, difficult allowance races. Check this one out: $103,000 for non-winners, one other than.
Man, that's just a day at Saratoga right there.
Exactly. So who do you like?
I took a price in this race. I mean, you know, obviously, you know, these type races, there's going to be 5 or 6 horses that look like they can win. I think there's several horses in here that morning line are. I think there's 2 or 3 horses that are under 3-1 morning line or 4-1 morning line.
Well,
I
some
like
of
the
them are main track
9.
only.
Okay, yeah, which, you know, which could happen. I mean, today.
The weather looks good. I looked
Okay,
at the weather. The weather looks phenomenal both tomorrow and Saturday. I think it's going to be on the turf, but you know,
yeah,
you never know.
I like the 9.
Okay.
You know, I think the horse was coming off. I think the horse is in really good form. You know, he's coming off a couple of really good races. You know, obviously those speed figures are, you know, as big as this horse has run, really.
Mhm.
I like the fact that he ran those speed figures at Belmont, but that he has really good form at Saratoga, or she. This is an older mare, 5-year-old mare. You know, I like the Saratoga record. I like the recent form. You know, I like the 12-1 morning line. I thought this was a close race. You know, I thought this is one of those that you know, you're probably going to get a cavalry charge, you know, coming down to the wire. But yeah, I like this one in here at price.
Good. All right. So nothing wrong with that pick. My sheet has that horse right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Now these 2 horses here, the 11 and 3, those are main track onlys. I think there's quite a few main track onlys, maybe 3 or 4. So this is going to scratch down. You know, I'm not going to knock anyone that likes the 8. The 8 is a deserving favorite. We can look at the 8 really quick. The only knock on the 8 is that he was a deserving favorite 2 other times as well, didn't get it done.
Right.
He's probably going to go off similar odds today. He might win, and you know, he's a good horse. But bottom line, he hasn't got the job done yet. Sometime, you know, who knows? There's always this conspiracy that some horses they don't want to win, they want to save the win for Saratoga. Maybe that's the case here.
Hmm.
This horse came over from England. And has run well twice with Lasix, gets a little rest now. This horse may run very well, deserving favorite, but
Working well. I mean, the horse is working pretty well too. Yeah.
now this race, if you look, has no pace in it. The two pace horses are scratching out. There's really very, very little pace. I think it's going to be a jockey's race, and horse position is going to be key. I wouldn't want to be drawn wide. And I like this draw that the 2 gets, Invincible Gal. And Invincible Gal is first time Lasix. Now, look, this horse has been running in all these little stakes races, little grade 3s, 150,000, ran in a grade 1. It's going to be making 3rd start of the year, which horses a lot of times run really well there. Gets Johnny V up for Grand Motion, first time Lasix, put some blinkers on. Horse might be a little more aggressive, might be fairly close to the lead. That's going to be paceless. Gets the great trip in the 2-hole. Should be right there, saving ground the whole way. Jockey and trainer do well together. I like this horse a lot.
Yeah,
I hope I get 3-1.
Well, and I thought that was probably the most likely winner. I just thought with, if the 3 scratches out, as a main track only, I know that 8's going to take some money. I was afraid of, the price dropping down on this too, because this is a horse that has been eligible. You can run for 9 winners and 1 other than whenever you want.
Right.
That they didn't have to run this horse in all these stakes races.
Right.
And so, it looks like now they're finally saying, hey, like you said earlier, it's Saratoga, let's get a win. Let's get in the winner's circle.
Yeah.
So
that was a good race, by the way. Navratilova, that was a very good little race. He didn't run bad.
Well, the horse got beat 7 lengths in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf.
There you go.
I mean, that's definitely a serious horse. If you get 3-1 on that horse, I think you definitely take it. I was afraid maybe this horse might be like 8-5 or 9-5 or 2-1, with that 8 taking some money also. I think maybe a 2-8-9 box or something, would look good. So,
well, I'm also looking at this 6 now. I looked at the 6 based on the sheet. The 6 is, sorry, not the 6, the 10. The 10 is making 2nd, 3rd start of the year, coming in from France. Okay. That always intrigues me. So I went and looked at the PPs. And this horse was racing in St. Cloud. Now, just trivia, I've been to St. Cloud. I've been to 3 tracks in France: St. Cloud, Longchamp, and Chantilly.
Man,
and
that gets me mildly excited.
Yeah, and St. Cloud was pouring rain that day. You could see they had a heavy turf.
Still on the turf.
Yeah. Oh, heavy turf.
Yeah.
This was heavy turf. So he's going to come over here. He's going to get good turf probably. It's not going to be firm, but it'll be good. And going to get first time Lasix. Barcelona got on last time out. I mean, I give this horse a shot. And
definitely.
Yeah,
man. I kind of wonder how did Al Stahl get this horse? I mean, you don't
exactly.
You don't see that outfit get a lot of these horses like this. I mean,
and he gets Rosario.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Big. And Rosario knows this turf course very well.
Oh yeah. No, definitely. It's interesting you mentioned the 6 though. I actually have the 6 written down after second to the 9. I think that 6 also has a shot. I mean, Tyler won a big grass race yesterday. With a horse that I had picked. This on his best day. I mean, these speed figures figure too. I mean, this is a seriously good field.
It is. This is a spread race, and we're going to have to lock in other places. So let's go ahead and move on to the really, really good dirt sprint. Okay, really good. And I like 2, maybe 3 horses in here, but pretty much 2. Who do you like in this race?
I actually have the 9 written down, which looked like it was a little bit further down on your on your sheet. You know, this is one of those, I don't know, this looks like one of those like lost in the fog type horses where, you know, the horse has been kind of beaten up on, you know, a little bit smaller competition elsewhere. Obviously the Commonwealth at Keeneland, you know, is a big race. But that's seven. What is this race today? Is
Six furlongs.
this is 6 furlongs, you know. I mean, I think this is a really fast horse. I think the speed figures in the last two races figure, you know, those races are 108 and change at what looks like Pimlico and Prairie Meadows. Um, you know, again, I was kind of looking for a little bit of a price. I mean, I think this race, and if you've been, you know, if you've been watching Saratoga so far this year, it's like Jekyll and Hyde as far as the speed, you know, the speed or not the speed. I
Mhm.
mean, some days, and I got a feeling it has something to do with the rain, with the track drying out, with the track, you know, super wet or just a regular dry, or you know, like through sometimes throughout the day. I think the other day, maybe it was Sunday, the track sort of like dried out throughout the day, and it changed, you know, throughout the day. I think if the track is speed favoring, I think this horse is obviously dangerous. I think if the track looks like, you know, if you're playing it live and closers have been winning, obviously a horse like Whitmore, you know, is probably going to be pretty tough.
Yeah.
So
So I think the pace is going to be pretty lively. You got an E7, that's strike power. You got the one you just mentioned, Special Reserve, with the 109 here.
yeah,
Mischievous Alex is going to be firing. I think the pace is going to be pretty darn lively. I think it's worth looking at Ferenz Fire for a second. This is my easy toss. This horse is
yeah,
1 for 7.
the same Belmont baby.
This is the Belmont baby. It's not Belmont. Yeah.
Yeah, the same Belmont.
No. And the horse is 7 for 13 at the distance, but the horse is 1 for 7 at Saratoga.
Yeah, this is
And
I mean, this is a Belmont specialist.
yeah,
And they talked about it. I don't remember if we watched one of these races together. And
Mhm.
I'm not sure which one it was. It may have been the True North. Um, it was either the Run Happy or the True North. I mean, I don't remember where we were, but we watched one of these races together, and I mean, this horse is a Belmont specialist. I
Yes.
mean, the horse loves the track. You know, obviously Belmont is a different track than any other track in the world, any other track in America. You know, the turns are different, the composition of the sand is different, and that horse just loves Belmont.
Right.
It would blow my mind if he beats this field at Saratoga.
Yep. And this is a very good field. And I'm loving the two
Yeah,
who really doesn't want to go a mile and ran extraordinarily well in the Met handicap. And before that is just drilling 6 furlong, 7 furlong fields. And I think this is a legit horse. Won't probably be on the lead, but should get a fairly good stalking trip and hopefully go by the speed. I do think Whitmore is the horse that can pick up the pieces. I think the horse is a little off this year, not quite the same horse. In both those races against CZ Rocket, he was beaten. Okay, it says second by neck and second by 2 lengths, but CZ Rocket beat that horse, and there was really no doubt in my mind. Then he won the 7 furlong grade 1. That was a tough race, lost to Flagstaff, then also lost to Lexingtonian, who I don't think has a chance in here at all. I think this horse is a little bit off, gonna come running. The race might set up for it. And but I'm probably gonna look more at the 2. I
yeah.
did look at this miles ahead only because we talked about this horse a few weeks ago, and he did win the Smile, but everything here is GPW. Does pick up Saez. I mean, nothing but W's. Win, 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 win. 3 of the last 4 all wins.
Yeah,
This horse is good. I just think maybe this competition is going to be a little too
just
tough,
little too steep, I think,
a
for
little
that
too
horse.
steep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, great race. You got the 2, I got the 9, maybe the
Or I got the 9, you got the 2.
right. I got the 9, you got the 9, I got the 2, maybe Whitmore.
Yeah, Whitmore is one of those. I mean, you cannot root for the horse. I mean, he's 8 years old. He's won a bunch of races. Whitmore is one of those horses that, it's like I can guarantee you I'm probably even lifetime betting on that horse.
Yeah.
It's like so one day I make $500 on the horse and the next day I lose, because it's kind of hard to tell. It's hard to tell when he's going to fire. I mean, you can see right there on the page, he's got a win at 4-5. He's got a win at 3-1, and he's got a win at 18-1.
Right.
I mean, it's really, really difficult to know when that horse is going to get the right setup, when he's really going to fire, when it's, so tough one to toss, but
Tough to toss. I think he's getting a tiny bit long in the tooth, but I do like the
yeah.
horse. All right, now we're going to move to the grade 2. Oh no, now we're on the Jim Dandy. All right, this is the race that I have to just go chalky, unfortunately.
Yeah, no,
I want to
I'm
spread.
there.
I want to spread the turf races. I got to just pick essential quality here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's where I am. I mean, in this sequence, I mean, if you're playing the pick 5, in this sequence, I obviously, you gotta think at some point this horse is gonna just like wake up on the wrong side of the stall and decide he doesn't feel like it that day. But hell, if I know what day that's gonna be. I mean, he brings it every single time.
The competition's a lot weaker here.
Yeah.
Keep Me in Mind never wins. Wayburn is a very quirky horse, doesn't really even understand how to race yet, but is extraordinarily game in the stretch. Hard to believe he can beat essential quality. Masquerade, I love this horse in the Ohio Derby. I think he was like 10-1 morning line. At least
he got crushed,
crushed.
At the windows. Yeah.
I was actually at the Jockey Club at Lone Star with Miguel Mena's jockey agent, Jose Santos Jr. And he was screaming and yelling, so happy. I think this is a really nice horse. It is probably the upset threat if he continues to improve. But I also think he might have just been all in that last race.
Oh, sure. I mean, and I'm, 150 and 4. I mean, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how fast that is. I mean, that allowance race at Churchill's pretty dang impressive.
Well, that's why I like it. Well, 140 and 1.
Yeah, but you just to me, I mean, you're getting, if you try to get beyond essential quality in this race, you're getting too cute with it.
I agree, but this is the horse I would tag as the potential upset threat, and he does show up with the plus. He does get the plus score as the value bet, and his best race would put him at 5-2. But obviously essential quality is the deserving favorite with the big K here.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go to race 10, the grade 2 Bowling Green. And
man, this is a great field.
Great field. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this, 3 English channel horses.
Oh yeah.
So a channel cat, crowded, whatever, cross border, and the channel maker. So who do you like in this race?
I settled on that 2 horse in this race.
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of the fact that I feel like this horse hasn't won since like the Trump administration.
Right.
But I do. I mean, you gotta love his Saratoga form.
I know.
I mean, this horse is just crushes Saratoga. He's a big fan of the distance. He's 2 for 2 lifetime at this distance. You got to love Mike Maker. Saez, there's not, you can't get much hotter right now than Saez at Saratoga, especially for a bit of like what I would call value price, right? Obviously, the Ortiz brothers are hot at Saratoga, but you're not going to get a value price on those guys. You might get 9-2 on this horse.
Yep.
And so I don't know. To me, this is the kind of horse that wins a race like this. This is a big turf marathon. And in my mind, you take in 6 furlong dirt routes, you take the horses that have been winning every race. In a race like this, a lot of times you see these horses win and just they don't win all the time. And that's just the way turf routes go, and that's the way turf marathons go. So I like that 2 horse. After that, I had the rest of the English channels. I had that 1 horse, and then the 7 and the 8. That's where I was.
So I'm on cross border as well, even though he's down here on my sheet. But for the same reasons, I like cross border. Channel Maker is way on top of my sheet. I think Channel Maker is a little bit suspect off the 4-month layoff, coming back from Dubai and Saudi. That's inflating his PFDS odds and best odds because he was running against incredible competition for very high stakes. But I can't touch that horse. The other horses I think are interesting are this 7 and 4. I do like your 2 though, a lot. Now, when I look at this 4, my first reaction wasn't too good on the 4, because he's kind of like what you just said. He just never wins, although he did win his last race.
Right.
But maybe it's the wake-up angle. Maybe he finally has woken up and knows how to win again and gets Rosario for Brown. It's very hard to, turn your nose up at Brown. And he's thought very, very highly of this horse. I mean, he's put him in all the tough spots. And I think, you're going to get a good price. And then the 7, by the way, Mott has 3 in here, including Channel Maker. And I just felt like the pace is going to be very, very favorable for this 7. But all of them have problems winning,
Yeah.
And if you look here, Moon over Miami, cross borders, right there. I mean, it's a tough race.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Channel Maker, is he in the 5? I think he's in the 5. Is he in the 5-hole Channel Maker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, I didn't even, and I wrote 4 horses down on paper, and I didn't even write that horse down. But I mean, obviously that horse could, I mean, look at the Sword Dancer last year at Saratoga. His horse won by 5. I mean, how do you even win? I don't know how you even win a grass marathon like that. I mean, that's a crushing win.
I saw that race last year. He loves the soft ground. I think this horse loves it soft.
Yeah.
And he's okay on firm ground too, but he just.
But we get any, I mean,
Yeah.
and that's something, people got to keep in mind. We're sitting here on Thursday talking about this. I mean, we get some rain or something. I mean, this horse could fire big.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he could win. I mean, it's like, it's like race 7. I mean, I think there's freaking 6 horses in here that could win. But so it's a spread. I mean, it's why we sort of keyed on essential quality. I mean, you got a spread in this race.
Yeah. I do like cross border. I do like Rock Emperor. Those are probably the first 2 I use. But you could definitely go deep here. All right, we're in the final race. Man, this is a tough one. Mile on the 16th. Again, this one's a 25K open claiming.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on this one?
I think we should go buy one of these horses.
You'll have to win a 15 shake. I mean,
15-way shake to
Exactly.
get anything worth having in here. I liked the 8 horse, and as we've gone through this, I don't even remember what some of these horses look like.
Yeah.
So I like this horse. I mean,
Mhm.
you see a lot of wins on here.
Yep.
This is a lot of wins for a grass route horse. And all these wins, everything that's not a win is a race that's way tougher than this race, right? Like you got a loss there in a stakes race, you got another loss in a stakes race. Everything else is a claiming race, is since August of last year, and they're all wins. The horse loves Saratoga.
Yep.
He's got a couple of wins at the distance. I mean, I think I liked the fact that Santana jumped on. I like the fact I was getting prime power second at 6-1.
Yep.
Ricardo never rides for this trainer, sort of a low profile connections.
Yep.
And so yeah, I liked this horse.
I do too. I think we're on the same horse. I have hieroglyphics on top with the spot play.
Yeah, see, and that's funny. I mean, I haven't even, all I looked at, I mean, and literally we talked about this. I mean, I handicapped for about 8 minutes before I called you and got on this call here. And so it's interesting. All I looked at was past performances. I didn't run any data, and I just kind of scanned through here, and that's the horse I landed on. And that's your spot play horse.
Right. I like this horse a lot. Making a second start of the year. I don't know if Mike Maker was just trying to get away with something off the 25,000, or if there was something wrong finally. He does run really bad in that Alan Jerkins, takes some time off, comes back and drops to 25. Maybe he was trying to get away with something because sure enough, the horse wins. But now he's been sitting for 2 months for the new connections. I don't know what that's all about, but you don't typically want your claimers sitting in the barn for 2 months. But he looks legit other than that. As you look at the sheet, you see all these prices on top: 6-1, 10-1, 12-1. Feels like a good race to
So here you and hear something funny. And I mean, again, like for everybody watching, I haven't seen your sheets prior to handicapping the PPs. What I have written down is 8-5.
All right.
I mean, I got it, and you've got it 8-5. I mean, if you want to look at that 5 horse, I mean, that's exactly what I have written down is 8-5.
Yeah, 8-5 looks good, dropping from 35 to 25.
That's Gaffley owned, Mike Maker.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys have been tearing it up on the turf.
Now, who's Saez riding for? Just curious. Is he in here? Oh, he's
right there on the 10.
Yeah. Now the 10 is interesting because the 10 gets.
Oh, that's the other. So I mean, you can see, I don't know if you can see it. Well, you probably can't see it. Yeah. I have 8-5-10. I have 8-5-10 written down. That's what I wrote down.
I would probably go with the same 3. The 10 gets this 1-1 and a B. And really the reason it's so far down on my sheet is because of the odds. And the reason that is because he's stepping out of conditions finally. So he's earned every condition he could possibly get. He's finally leaving that. But if you look, he's 3 for 4 on the turf, 2 for 2 at the distance, and his last 3 races all on the turf are wins.
Yeah, so he's 3 for 4 on the turf, 4 for 13 lifetime.
Exactly. This horse has to be used.
Yeah.
Well, now he gets Saez. So
I mean, if he runs another 94, he's going to win this race by 8 lengths.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, that's definitely. And Joe Sharp, I mean, I haven't heard Joe Sharp's name a lot at Saratoga this year. I don't think he's won much. I don't think he necessarily takes a lot of horses to Saratoga, but I mean, this one, this one definitely looks tough.
Looks very tough. I mean, he is moving in from Louisiana, Indiana, Oakland. But look at, I mean, Saez doesn't get on very often. It does awful well with him. So Saez, I think this, Saez could have ridden some other horses in here, including your 5. Saez rode that horse to a victory for Maker, doesn't ride back. So I think that 10 has to be used. I think our 8 has to be used. The 5 makes sense. And then if you go 4 deep, maybe you look at this 11. Definitely the weakest of those 4, but the 11 shows up, third of my sheet.
Yeah.
So, I'm probably going to try to beat the chalk. The chalks here, 3 and 13, don't jump out at me as anything special. So this is the kind of place to beat the chalk. And if we can get alive to 5A10, that'd be fantastic.
Oh, sure. I mean, especially if you can beat, I mean, even if somebody singles essential quality, you can beat Channel Maker.
Mhm.
If you can beat a horse like Whitmore, who is going to be on a lot of tickets, that's a big name.
Mhm.
If you could beat a horse like Whitmore, if you could beat that mischievous Alex, even race 7, I mean, you got a lot of, I think that's the one that had a lot of main track, that had some short price main track only horses.
Yeah, you had that 9 in there.
And so when when those horses come out, and I've noticed in some of the research I've done, when main track only horses are favored, or are lower on the morning line, and those horses come out, sometimes it gets a little, it gets a little jumpy from a handicapping standpoint, from a wagering standpoint.
He's handicapping that if they draw in, this is where they should be. And if they don't draw in, Love and Thunder is your favorite. So that's why it looks abnormal. He's kind of handicapping 2 different scenarios.
Sure.
But
what's the, I mean, this is a Saturday at Saratoga, and you got a lot of people out there with a program, and it says, here's the program picks, and it's in morning line order.
Right.
And so, a lot of these horses scratch out of these main track onlys. I mean, you see a horse that maybe should be 5-2, and all of a sudden the horse is 5-1. And then you're like, all of a sudden there's value.
But we're gonna have to see. Let's try to put together a couple actual tickets, and we'll put it on Twitter together.
Yeah.
You can send me one, and I'll put it up on my Twitter, or you can respond to my video tweet when I put it up there. Let's go ahead and stop the share. I think, DGen Nation, Charting Horse Value. Let's hit this damn pick 5 at Saratoga. We got a free square with essential quality. I'm probably going to single Mischievous Alex, and then I can spread in the 3 turf races and try to catch a couple prices. But we'll put together some tickets, and we're going to hit this thing on Saturday.
Cool.
All right, man. Take care.
See you.